Okay, there's a lot of what says in the Gemoro about this inyanim, how to attract wealth and to stay away from poverty. The Torah is the Reched Ar Chenoyam, it's a manual for life. So we're going to try to cover a few of the inyanim what says in the Gemoros, a few more. If we're not going to finish today, we'll continue hopefully next week again. So the Gemara says like this. The Gemara in Brochas Daf Lamed Hey Amud Beis. Omar Rabba Bar Chana Omar Rabbi Yochanan Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi. Boyure Shel Kadoires Rishonim Doires Achronim. Says, come and see that there's a difference gap between generations. The Doires Rishonim, they were way greater than us. He says, Doires Rishonim, the previous generation, also Teirosan Kva Umalachtan Aroi. By them, the learning, it was kva. It was steady and permanent. The malacha was arai. They did business, they did work, but it was they took the learning a lot more seriously. The Gemara says, because of that, zu v'zu niskaima b'yodon. Because they did the learning so serious, so Mamela, both of them, they succeeded. They succeeded in the learning, they succeeded in the business. Doris Acharoinim, we said the later generations, we're talking about the generation Rabbi Bar yeah, Rabbi Yochanan, Mishum Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi, so the generation Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eloi, the same generation of Rabbi Bar Yochai, says Doris Acharoinim, She'osu Melachton Kva, V'Teiroson Arai. So the later generation, they reversed that. The going to business, going to work, it was Kva. That was they took it more seriously. But Teroson, Kvius Itim, learning, it was Arai, it was when I can, I'm going to learn. Zuvuzul and Iskama Biyodon. So they didn't succeed in both, not in the learning, not in the business, and the Parnassa. So see, again, one more segula for Parnassa, to make the Kvius Itim, it should be more taken seriously. It's a famous story when the Alter Rebbe came from prison. So they one of the deal was, I'm not going to the whole story. The deal was he's going to meet three of the Gedolei of the oil misha that they were not mitzad Hasidim. So what, he honored the deal. He went and he met with the three Gedolei. One of them asked him, what the chiddush of Chassidus, what do you mechadash? What they didn't have before? What this whole movement? So the Alter Rebbe told him, we have you in Galite. It says the kaveh itim la Torah. That's God left. He says kaveh itim. He says we learned Torah a lot before the Chassidus came. We had kvius itim and learning the whole day even. So what you're telling me? You mechadash didn't have kvius itim. So the Alter Rebbe told him there is kvius itim bezman in time, and there is kvius itim benefesh. It's mamash engraved in your soul. So really, when somebody is kvius itim as benefesh, it's in his soul. There's no such thing by him. Tomorrow I'm going to skip. Today I'm going to skip, and today I have a l'chaim. Tomorrow I have a chasana. It's benefesh. It's nagel benefesh to you. You make sure something like you don't skip your meals. If you don't skip too many of them, you wouldn't be alive today if you would skip all your meals. Something you'll make sure that the kvius itim, it's nagel benefesh you. It's going to be really part of your life. And then zovazu also beyond, then you're going to see atzlochem. Now we're going to Gemoro Shabbos, Daf Samach Beis Amud Beis. The Gemoro says, Tona, Gimel Dvorim Mevim Es Odom Lidei Anius. Three things bring the person to poverty. Ve'eluhen, Hamashtin Mayim Bifnei Mitosei Orum. It's not so practical today. But olden days, they didn't have bathrooms. They had to go out far away. And that's why sometimes if needs emergency would get out in the middle of the night. Sometimes they would mashtin mind before the mitosa, and Rashi will bring to poverty because the Amrin Bar Psochim, we learned this Gemoro over here last week. Sorodan Yusa Novil Shmei, the minister, the Malach of poverty, his name is Novil or Novel, which means nasty. It says, and he liked nasty, dirty places. Somebody mashtin lifnei mitosoi, it's not clean. He comes over there, he brings with him poverty. So you want to chase him away. So the idea of what they applies today, as we already spoke before, you want to keep home, office, car as clean as you can. So then you're going to attract the malach of wealth, which is nokid shmei. He likes clean. The second thing the Gemoro says, mezalzel bentilas yadayim. Somebody not careful bentilas yadayim. The Mephoshim brings. We're not talking about somebody not doing it at all, because the Gemara and Soita says somebody not doing bentilas yadayim at all. Nekar mina oilam. Talking about the mezalzel. He don't do it the right way. He looks for loopholes. That's also brings to poverty, because the Rosh Teves of Al Netilas Yadayim, I think the Ben Ish Chai pointed out, it's oni. If you're not makpid on Netilas Yadayim, it brings tanya. So in the previous shurim we spoke about this. One of the hamtzoes today, people have this what they call it mazoinas bread, and I mentioned the other shurim. It's a fake news. This whole mazoinas bread. So the mele, that's not only that you're doing the wrong bracha, instead of hamoitz, you're doing mazoinas. You're not washing then, because it's mazoinas, you don't have to wash. So it's mezalzel b'netilas yadayim, which is that on its own could bring anius. So if people want to have more attraction of ashirus in their life, they have to stop using this mazoinas bread, because then you're going to wash the hands, and then you're going to do carefully. That pushes away the anius. And the third thing the Gemara says is, if the wife of the person cursed him in front of him, that's going to bring to anius, and that's already. If I don't know if you remember, we brought in the previous shurim from Taz. He mentioned the Taz mentioned from the Gemara and Soita that the kas, anger at home, pushes away parnassa. It brings kas at home, brings anius, and the Gemara says a few lines later. The Gemara says, she says, I want you to buy me more jewelry. Talking about somebody he doesn't buy, he's being a miser. It brings kpeda to the house. His part of tzimtzum is being miser, and her kpeda is the kas. All those tinyonim pushes away the parnasa. So that's the Gemara in Shabbos, how important it is to keep clean and to be makpid on the Tilas Yadayim, do it properly, and make sure there's no kpeda at home. That's it? Okay, you were going over there too. Okay, it's one more. Okay, I see already I'm going to do one more Gemara, the rest I'm going to keep for Sunday. Okay, the Gemara in Rosh Hashanah. The Gemara Daf Chavtes. The Gemara says, "B'shvil daled dvorim nichse balabatim nimsorim lamalchus." God forbid, even somebody has already parnassa, he might be even wealthy. Sometimes comes the government and takes it away, some of it, all of it. The Gemara says there's 4 things causing people to lose their wealth, the malchus. Number 1, al mashe shtores pruim. Somebody had a star with you. Today could be a check, and he gave you cash. He says, you know what, Yankala, destroy the check you have. I left with you. Here's the cash. And he didn't destroy the check. He keeps the check, and then later on, in his mind, I'm going to ask again. Here's the check. Here's the star. The Gemara says it's an isur gomer to hold the star perua. As soon as somebody pays you, if you have a star or a check, you have to destroy that. And if you're not destroying it, and that, because of that, it could bring upon you, God forbid, such a dinim that the malchus could take away your wealth. The second thing is val malve beribis. Obviously, we know it's isur gomer to malve beribis. There is a terim, whatever is the terim, but if you're doing it without the terim, without doing it proper way, you lend money on the ribis, that could take away such a money that you make. It could take away even the kosher money with it together. The third thing is val shahoyo sipek beyodom limchos velam michu. Rashi brings, because we talk about balabatim, they have some money, they have some authority, they have some respect from people, and because of that, they could have stopped some corruption in the city. They could have stopped something wrong. Limchus, as people doing something, they could say, listen, it's not right to do it. They didn't do it. They said, I'm going to mind my own business, because you had the ability to stop something wrong, stop a corruption, and you didn't do it. That also, because Hashem says, I gave you money, I gave you authority, you should utilize it positively, properly. And you didn't. Right now, you had an opportunity to use your koyach, your respect you have in the city, to stop corruption. You didn't do it, so Hashem says, then I'm going to take away your wealth. The fourth thing is, a lot of times happens, especially balabatim, rich people, there's a campaign. They say, "Oh, I give so much. I give so much." Sometimes they give publicly a lot, but they don't deliver. It says poiske tzedakah b'ravim. They don't deliver. But with that, it says you could lose your wealth to the malchus. Then the Gemoro says, "Omar Rav b'shvil arbo devorim nichtze balabatim yotzim letimon." There's 4 other things where you could lose your wealth. That's going to go to waste. Al koivshe schar sochir. And schar sochir, we're going to bring 2 things of it. Let me say both, and I'm going to explain. Va'al uishke schar sochir. Koivshe schar sochir, you bring a Baal Melacha to your house. And when he comes to you, okay, he finished the job, he says, pay me. You say, you know what, come tomorrow. I don't have the money right now. Come the next day, come this. You're going to pay him, but meanwhile you're playing games with him. It's a Isur Gomer. Somebody did the job, pay him. If you don't have the money, don't call him to do the job. For that, you could lose your wealth. And the Oishkes Chaso, it's even worse. We're talking about somebody doesn't want to pay. He had a Baal Melacha coming to him doing the job, and he doesn't want to pay him. He's Mama's Agana. So it's, by everybody is bad, especially Balabatit, Bala Oisher. It's even worse. You got the money, and that's how you treat people. Pay him for what he did. Okay, so we did already over here 2 things. The third thing is v'al shapurkin oil ma'al tzavareim v'nosnim al chavreim. You have an obligation to do something in the community, and you take it and you give it to others. You ask others to do what you have to do. And the last thing is v'al gasu saruach, when they act with holiness, with superiority to others, because I'm richer. And he says, and the Gemoro concludes, "V'gasu saruach keneget kulam." That's the worst form of all of the above we mentioned, to feel superior to others. Aval ba'anovim, if you're humble, ksiv ba'anovim yeshu oretz visangu al roiv sholem. Okay, now we'll continue the rest Sunday.